I love
Oh,
that.
we're live.
Oh, are we? Now
Oh
we're
my
live.
Goodness, we're live.
Oh my Lanta. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Under Queer Review, where we three queers get together and take a critical lens to the latest and greatest in queer media and decide if it passes the queer review.
Greatest is a stretch.
Well, yeah, especially for today's episode. In my opinion, it's my opinion. Today we're reviewing Vampire in the Garden, which is a 2022 anime by Wit Studio, who you may also know from Attack on Titan and Spy X Family. I haven't seen Spy X Family, but I have seen Attack on Titan. Anime is only 5 episodes long, and you can view it anytime you want on Netflix. So let's get into it. What do we think of Vampire in the Garden?
I just wanted to make a quick plug to something completely different.
Okay.
When you're on Netflix watching Vampire in the Garden, finish it and then go watch Beef and then really enjoy that.
For any reason.
So really quick, because this Beef is not queer content, but I want to praise it and spread it around. Beef is just a story about two people who escalate basically fucking with each other over and over and over and over again, and they have beef with each other, and it stars Ali Wong and Steven Yeun.
Is this vampires at all?
Nope, this has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to plug it because I think it's a great show, and she puts that gun right up to her pussy.
Yeah,
and
you
fires
did
it.
say that. You did say that, and I thought that was very wild.
So let's talk about Vampire in the Garden, though, because that's what we're here for.
It's a random plug. It's fine.
Random plug. Everyone should watch it. It was great. I watched all 10 episodes last night when I should have been watching Vampire in the Garden, which I watched this morning. Kelly and I.
Silence of those texts was so fucking
Listen, first of all, Kelly and I popped an edible.
Yeah.
we watched the first 2 episodes and we popped an edible. We had some Chinese food. We watched the whole series from it's literally like the 10 half episodes, so like 5 hours in a row, just sitting on the couch watching them. And that's when I texted you guys, instead of Manifest, should it be Themifest?
Oh, that's weird.
Because I was high and I was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about Beef, a soon-to-be award-winning show, I'm sure. Let's talk about Vampire in the Garden.
Beef that I have with this anime.
That old beef
I'm happy how short it was. And how quickly it went in terms of the pacing of the story was very quick.
I actually wish it was longer. So let's get into
it. I also wish it was longer.
I'm conflicted because I liked how quick it was because it moved the plot very quickly. However, I would have liked some things to be fleshed out a bit more.
Yeah. I think that's my take as well. The pacing of it was very quick and fun, but I feel like one of its shortcomings was how short it was only 5 episodes. It's 5 episodes that are 23. I actually don't remember how long they are.
They're like 25 to 30 minutes long, I think.
The whole anime in and of itself is close to 2 hours long. And I feel like they introduce a lot of neat things and some interesting concepts of the world that we're in and the characters. But I felt there was a significant lacking of investment on the viewer's part for where we ended up at the end of the series.
Yes.
Did we explain what the show was about?
No, we're jumping right in.
We jumped right in. Well, okay, let's take it back a step. So Vampire in the Garden is an anime set in kind of a post-apocalyptic world in an unnamed country where humans are kind of on the brink of extinction, and they're in this perpetual war with vampires. Currently, there is this large city structure where humans reside. It's considered the safest place for humans against vampires. It's guarded by these towers of light. And the anime focuses on Momo, who is a human, and her eventual friendship/relationship, dialogue moments with the vampire queen or queen-to-be, Fine. So it explores their relationship, the ongoings in the world, and how these two seemingly opposing forces can get along.
Yeah, let's start there. Momo and Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Momo, human.
Yep.
Sort of
Fine, vampire.
Fine vampire. So
Woman.
ladies, both ladies. Momo is sort of this I would say she's slightly disillusioned with the world that she lives in. She's not exactly happy about the state of the world. Then again, I don't think anyone really is. Basically, they've been in a constant war with vampires, and this is what I thought going in. Watched the first episode, and I was like, okay, the world is like basically all fucked up. I assumed incorrectly that there was only like one set of human civilization, that one city where Momo worked for a while and was a soldier there. And then everything else was basically unclaimed territory or vampires. And then you run into Fine, who is apparently queen of the vampires, but like queen of what? Like queen of that vampire area? Is she the queen of all vampires?
It was never explained.
And as the series goes on, you actually see that no, there's like other fucking cities that are all vampire run. There's some that have humans and vampires. Some are more mutualistic. Some are like not very friendly. And you see her interact with other vampires. And for being the quote unquote queen, no one really respects this woman. No one really listens to her. She's saying she wants something. And as the queen, you think everyone would be like, okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, my lord, my liege, my queen. No one's giving her autonomy here.
No.
No one's letting her have her fun. She wants to just
vibe. There was a person who addressed it. There was one, the bartender or whoever was like, oh, the queen is here.
Yeah, I know.
And then he like fucks her over.
And later he's like, don't you ever come back here. Yeah. Oh, they're upstairs on the third floor.
Suck them dry.
So I was pleasantly surprised to see that there was an actual world outside of that town, but then I was upset because you don't really get a lot of world building out of the show because you're too busy spending it on this accelerated journey between Momo and Fine, which are they together? No, right? They're not really together.
Kind of canonically, yes, they're together. Do they have any of those moments of like, kissing in the anime? No, but I forget if it was one of the directors. Like, it is regarded and considered an LGBT, piece of media or lesbian representation. Technically.
Right.
Because of the relationship and things that happen in the anime.
Yeah, because Fine talks about... Because basically, the show jumps around a lot between the current timeline and like things that happened in the past for all these characters. So Fine's backstory is that she used to love, and she explicitly says love, a human woman. Mm-hmm. They were trying to find a place for themselves. Their relationship was, she even says, taboo. So they're lesbians, and tragically the girl dies. And she kind of closes herself off to the world until she meets Momo, who looks identically like her old girlfriend. It sounds just like her.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it's so strange. And it's sort of like, okay, I see that Fine is definitely lesbian. And Momo has this friend in the beginning that tragically dies really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Named, can someone name her?
Name a woman.
Because
Name a woman.
I read the sub, because I was watching the dub. I didn't have time to read the subs because I was trying to get through this quickly. But I saw the subtitle, and the name is Melina, Melina.
Oh, mm-hmm.
But the way the voice actor pronounced it, it sounded like Moana, Mona, Moana.
So I'm looking this is an English write-up. It's Marina, Mirena.
Marina, okay.
But in Japanese, R's sound like L's. So it could be like Melina type of pronunciation.
So she was a little bit, close with this girl, but it could have been a friendship. But, there was something potentially that could have been more, but tragically she got impaled by that vampire.
Yep. Not in a good way.
No, not in the fuck me. It's more of the ouchie kind of thing. What? Yeah.
Ouchie, blood everywhere.
But that's where the story starts. Mm-hmm. And then it basically devolves into Momo and Fine on the run, trying to find some place where they can be, well, initially just be like free, but then also I guess be together away from the world. Yeah.
Can
I just say that when they explained like the concept of the world and they were like, oh, humans were brought to near extinction after vampires suddenly appeared, I was like, is this Attack on Titan just not Instead, like replace Titans with vampires.
Oh, oh, they had the Wall of Light. I was like, that's just Wall Cinna or Wall Maria or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and then what the fuck is the idea that they don't have music anymore?
Oh, yeah.
And that humanity lost the knowledge that humans used to sing and write music.
Yeah.
Because
Not explained.
Fine was like putting a record on. She's like, "Girl, put your record on," and then she
Yes.
starts playing music. And Momo's like, "I don't want to listen to this vampire." She goes, "No, this is a person. This is a human."
Yes, this is human.
And it's like, did we all have amnesia? And then the idea that they had to drop music because of the hearing of vampires. I was like, "Girl, you live in like a huge factory
military base. Yes, and a military base where you make and shoot guns.
Yeah, there's a lot of
What?
sound.
There's a lot of noise.
That music thing, I understand, was meant to be a bridge between them. They both love music, and it's supposed to also bridge back to Fine's previous lover. But I was like, that's just like the world ends and we burn music.
I don't
That's
know
what
why
we
they
do.
needed that bridge, because they already made the main character look like the
just
former
like
lover
her.
of
I
the
know.
queen. So like, why did you need the bridge? You already had one.
It was so weird. Yeah,
it was very strange.
Very interesting.
It was
very
interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So then, they basically just hop from place to place. But there are these like long extended sequences of montages of them traveling. And that's where you would get more like development between the two characters. And that's why I was like,
more of that.
Let's take an episode of just traveling and watch
really
these two
would love
interact. I think that would have really sold me, because by the end of it, and we will spoil the end of it, but by the end of it, I couldn't tell if they were like in love or if they were just close. Which I think is a common thing that happens in queer media, where it's like, oh, they were roommates.
They were roommates.
Oh,
they never got
were
married. They lived together
roommates.
for 40 years.
Yeah, I have a photo of them finger blasting each other, but they're not together.
They're not
together. They're not gay. No.
No, it's for science.
I would have loved to see their relationship develop more.
That's how I pick up men. I'm like, I'm a
Yeah.
scientist. Can I put it in you?
Yeah, for data collection.
Yeah.
In my mind, those montages were one of the strongest points of the anime. The anime is so pretty. It's very pretty. I thought it was different to have the vampires fly via like the webbing, the wings, how their arms open up into wings. I thought that was really cool. It did some really neat things in terms of visual design and music. But to me, it fell very flat and was not as fleshed out as I would have liked. And the ending, I kept trying to predict like where we were going, like each episode, and I was like, "Oh, please don't go this way," but we went that way.
Yeah. So, anything else to talk about in terms of the story before we talk about the ending itself, and then we can obviously go on to more specifics.
Yeah, I just really wish that we had a little bit more time to explore their relationship. If that was the purpose of the show, was to kind of go into this relationship between the two of them, I wish we had a little bit more time to see that blossom. Maybe even just like one more episode where we just focus on just them.
Yes.
There's some speculation. When this first came out, you probably remember, I was in a rage after I watched this. I was like, this was so upsetting and disappointing. This is not at all what I wanted and hoped for it to be. So I got digging into the creation of it, and there is some speculation that because this was developed in almost like peak COVID shutdown times, that there might have been a lot that ended up getting cut.
Right, for budget, for time.
Yeah. So I wish that the timing had been different, that maybe we would have gotten a different story.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's talk about how it ends. And so you follow these two ladies, which, by the way, is Momo an adult? No, right? Momo's a child.
I think she's like 14.
And Fine's gotta be. Fine's gotta be decades and decades. Yeah. So already I'm a little suspect. I'm a little call me by your name about this fucking show. But she these two ladies, they're trying to find their place in the world, and then by the end it culminates with the vampires trying to chase down Fine, the humans trying to chase down Momo. There's a big fight, and Fine, literally the last, I'd say 2 episodes, the entire show, Fine is just abused physically.
Yeah.
Not like, well, her body is just,
Yeah.
she's not drinking any blood, so she's weakened. She's getting shot all the time. She's getting thrown around. She's getting stabbed, punched, kicked, thrown off of cliffs. Like, this woman's body is a mess by the end of the show. And she pulls out her little drug that they use. She stabs it in the neck. She turns into this big vampiric monster. She does it to protect Momo from, you know, the humans and the vampires. And by the end of it, Momo and her leave. She's mortally wounded. They fall into this, I don't know, cave.
Yeah.
Where all of these beautiful,
very pretty cave.
She's melting.
Yeah.
And Fine's like, there's nothing you can do to save me now. I want you to just sing for me, please. And then, right before she dies, though, she's talking about what Momo means to her. And she's like, at first, you were just a replacement for my lover. But now I've grown to really appreciate you. And I was like, maybe don't admit that.
Maybe right at the end.
Maybe keep that bit to yourself.
Yeah. Either die quietly, or you should have said that 3 to 4 episodes ago.
So Fine gets unceremoniously killed, dead. Momo is grief-stricken. She carries the body away. She turns her back on her mother and goes, you can live your life, and I'm gonna live mine. And the mom's like... And
like how I didn't catch that scream in the audio.
There was nothing. There was no audio. It was too high pitched.
Too high pitched. It probably won't come through in the recording. It's fine. I screamed. So then, but by the end, you know, there's a post-credit scene. If anyone watched after the credits,
I did.
It is apparently a serene building house where vampires and humans are living together. And Momo is sitting there with what looks like a vampiric baby. And I was like, how does that happen? Or how does that work? And she's, you know, presumably happy. And then there's a voiceover from Fine saying something like, you know, you took my hand because you wanted to be like living a free life. And because of her, she found freedom. And that's the ending.
Yep.
Let's discuss common ways that queer relationships are ended in plot lines.
Stop burying your gays. God, stop burying your gays.
So what was the reason? What was the reason, bitch?
Why did they kill her? Like, why did you spend 5 episodes trying to make your viewers invested in this relationship in person to just have her give herself a nitrous boost and then just fucking eat it? Why?
So, I'm trying to think of, you know, the character arc. Does it validate the character? Does the character grow from the ending in terms of Fine? Fine already has gone through excessive trauma with the loss of her first lover, right? She's already experienced the world at its worst. She believes, you know, for the most part, that this isn't probably going to work no matter where they go. And she's then brutalized, beaten, shot at, whatever. And by the end of it, I don't see her attaining any level of peace. I don't see her attaining any level of growth that she already didn't have. I don't see it as a moment of clarity for her. I think, you know, the argument can be made that this is really Momo's story and not Fine's, and Fine's is just an ends to a mean, or means to an end, ends to a mean.
Ends to a
mean. It's a mean, vice versa, means to an end for Momo to grow. But I don't know.
I
don't know.
didn't feel like she had an arc either. Like it kind of just felt like a constant coast. And I really wish they, you know, that we could have picked up at like a season 2 to explore, say, if this first season was focusing more on Momo, that we could have had a second arc to maybe develop Fine a little bit more, or develop her feelings, or, you know, come through with those. So I think that's why I was so frustrated by this anime, because we had some cool concepts. It was a vampire setting. It was queer coded, queer presenting, and to throw it away, it just
Yes.
It was
It was
lovingly
really
animated, though. I loved the fight
Oh, so
scenes.
pretty.
Oh well,
Yeah.
Wit did Attack on Titan the first several
Mhm.
seasons, so we know that they're good for that. I think I just I watched something recently, and I won't.
Mhm.
Did either of you watch? Do either of you watch the John Wick films at all?
I haven't, no.
No.
Do you care if I spoil the fourth film?
No, go for it.
Go ahead. Spoilers for the fourth John Wick film.
Spoiler: John Wick. The four films are extremely close connected. They all build off each other. It's one seamless story that takes place within a few months, probably. And the films are about basically a hitman in retirement comes out of retirement and has to deal with the consequences of coming out of retirement. And every film sort of builds on what happened in the previous film. So the idea is that every action he does has consequences, and there's a theme that he'll never have peace because he's a hitman to his core. He like craves the violence, like that's just what his life is. So he'll only have peace in death. By the end of the fourth film, spoiler alert, he dies.
Mhm.
So it's satisfying in that, yeah, this whole series we've known this man to be like a solely motivated man who's extremely great at killing people, but this is what he does. And in these four films, he hasn't had a moments of peace because he's constantly dealing with the consequences of his actions. So of course, he only finds peace when he's dead. Understand, perfect loop, totally got it. It was sort of telegraphed through many of the films that this is where it would probably end up. In contrast, this show, in contrast, I don't feel had any sort of I don't know, besides the world telling them that they couldn't have this relationship, the very like sort of tragic Romeo and Juliet kind of aspect to
Yeah.
it. The relationship was never going to work. They're two separate people from two separate groups. I was like, yeah, but I don't see what the death achieved.
Yeah, and we don't really feel the gravity of those sides too much. Like it's really just background noise in a way of people
Yeah.
saying like, "No, don't.
Yeah,
Don't
come
kiss the
back.
vampire. Wait." And it kind of made the whole pretense of Momo's mom and uncle chasing them to be moot when at the end Momo just says to her mom like, "No."
No, I'm
Just
not
says
going with you.
no.
I mean, it
So why
definitely,
couldn't
yeah, it's definitely because I mean, it definitely is Momo growing from this whole
Yes.
experience, which is great for her.
It's great good for her. We love to see
It's
a woman
good for
using
her,
their voice.
but I think she still could have had that growth with Fine surviving.
Yes.
I think Fine's death does nothing for Momo because she has already grown to the point like she's already achieved her character growth by the end of episode 5. So the death doesn't push her forward into new growth, and it certainly doesn't push Fine's story anywhere. If anything, Fine's
Besides into the ground.
into the ground. Fine's been a
Feet
tragic
under.
character from the beginning of the show, from before the beginning of the show, all the way to the
Yeah.
end of it. And it's sort of like, you know, you can make the argument that some people just have tragic lives,
Mhm.
and that's just what happens. But I think, like we always talk about, the trope that the queers get pushed aside and killed, where there could have been more story development or more story benefit, character benefit from having them around, is something you should think about when you're crafting your queer narratives.
I completely agree, and I think the fact that we never got answers, at least for me, that I honed in on, why was there another solution for not drinking blood? It just kind of felt like a very, flat, like, well, she can't drink blood. Is there another way or another means to explore that?
Did they also
It could be
explain why
narrative.
she wouldn't drink blood?
Yeah, I don't think they do. She's just
I
like, no,
mean,
I won't do it again. Or is it linked to her, the ex-girlfriend?
I think
previous
it's
lover?
because I think she's like, she
She
feels
had to drink.
responsible. She feels responsible for her
Yes.
woman's death, so she's like, I can't hurt another person because I've hurt too many. I don't know.
See, yeah, when you start to look at it closely, not even closely, I'm looking at you like we're far away. It becomes just flat, and then the drug.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool idea. I liked it.
I
It
like
was.
the nitrous boost idea, but
There are a lot of cool ideas here.
yes, there's a lot of cool ideas that feel like they could have gone places, but unfortunately, for whatever reasons, all came to a pinnacle with Fine dying.
Yeah. And this might sound like gays just complaining that their ship didn't sail. But it's the story obviously was not worried about the world building. It was not worried about the conflict between the vampires. The story was between these two women and how they were surviving in this world. So if you're going to make the story between those two women the focal point, you should really do the justice in bringing the relationship to like the forefront and fleshing it out. If she had died, or well, she did. If she had died, but we had so much more context, bless you, Jackie, or coughing?
Coughing, thank you.
Oh, if we had more context relationship, more time with the relationship, and she still died, I would have felt better about it at least because we could have seen more of it.
Agreed.
One half of me when she died was like, oh, like that sucks. The other half was like, but I barely know this bitch.
Yeah.
Like I barely know her. I barely know her connection with Momo, so I'm not like that upset about it.
Oh.
You know what I am upset about though?
All right.
All right.
I'm upset about the uncle.
Yes.
Whose wife was a vampire.
Oh, yes.
And was killed by his sister.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That I was like, why aren't we talking about this?
Why aren't we unpacking this? Yeah.
They didn't go into any of those characters. That uncle guy, the vampire slayer, we get that like one moment of like of his backstory, and then
gone.
Like there was so much in the world that to be explored that was not explored.
There was one really funny line that he says to Momo when she's like, "Get away from me! I don't know who you are," and he's like, "Don't talk to me! I changed your diapers," or something like that. And I'm like, that's how I feel. I feel like I don't know you, and you're expecting me to feel very connected and engaged with you when I don't.
Yeah. I think there were, like I said, there was a lot of fun stuff they could have really leaned into. The different cities and how they operated.
Yes.
Like the one that had both vampires and humans living tenuously side by side. The fake paradise with the vampire used for electricity. The vampire battery. The vampire battery operated
Let's get into
town.
That was some wild shit.
Wild.
Like, what if I just needed like my fucking prostate stimulator charged? I could plug it into a vampire, and the vampire charges my dildo. Like, is that how that works?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's so cool. Do you think blood type matters? Like,
I don't know.
With like A negative, it'll charge quicker.
I don't know.
Or give it extra force.
But like O negative would go into any outlet, obviously. It's universal donor.
Yeah.
But Fine knew from the start. She was like, "There's something wrong here. There's something wrong with this town. I don't like it."
It was kind of that was one of those grating moments where I was like, "Oh God, please don't do this." Where it's like, "No, it's totally fine. Everything is fine."
It was so obvious. It was so obvious.
And that one girl was like, "We're gonna be friends forever, bitch.
Don't leave me."
But wait, why did they want Momo there? Because I could see them wanting Fine to like power their weird vampire battery ship. But why did they want Momo?
I think the girl just wanted her.
I think that was it. She
like another young girl.
She just wanted Momo.
She just wanted a friend
to be her wife.
Also, like, how did because they were saying that they're like, oh, he's down there because he's addicted to blood, and I was like, okay, but like, how do these vampires get around drinking blood then? Or do the people in that town drink blood still?
Right. There's unanswered.
They didn't explain how the Eden vampires actually survived. I'm assuming they drank blood still.
I thought at first that was going to be some kind of segue for Fine to recharge her strength by getting blood in a way that was not traumatizing for her.
No, I was waiting for Fine to get recharged, and the show would not give this woman a moment to rest.
Give her a fucking break.
Jesus.
And I was really into it. I was like, okay, first scene, she's like dancing with a woman, or maybe it's not the first scene, but she's like in a ballroom, dancing with a woman, having fun.
Do you think what's his name? Was his name Apollo?
Allegra
D.
Allegra
for my allergies.
Doesn't work for me.
Do you think Allegro was into her, or just like really cool? Like they were just like brother and sister familial kind of thing?
I was actually trying to figure that out because weren't they engaged?
No, they were definitely like childhood friends. Because I remember like when spoiler, he dies too.
Thank God.
He's like dying and he's thinking back, and there's a scene where he's like kneeling below her and she's sitting on a throne. He's like kissing her ring or her hand. So I'm guessing he's like pledging his fealty to her, like to always protect her and shit. So I don't know if it was like a lesbian, I don't know if it was like a love thing, but I did like his dog.
Oh, his
Oh,
dog
the
was so
pug.
cute. Yes,
Yeah.
Connie, I think. Yeah, super cute.
I loved it.
Which was also useless, though. Why did he have that dog?
I know. I kept waiting for the dog
Well,
to
that's
die.
no, that's just window dressing. That's just window
It
dressing.
was cute. It was cute.
Yeah.
It was cute. Just some eye candy, real quick.
The uncle was kind of eye candy, if you ask me.
He, to me, though, was just a Cassidy from Overwatch.
Yeah.
Copy and paste. I honestly could not see him any other way. Even when I try to remember some of his lines from the anime, I just hear them in Matt Mercer's voice. They're not, it just doesn't stick out to me.
Yeah, just like one of those classic, broody...
Western, yeah.
Yeah, like they had one of those in Attack on Titan, too. What was Levi's, dad-ish figure?
Yeah,
was kind of one
like,
of those.
mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
him.
Yeah.
That guy.
That's who he reminded me of.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
You know who I think is overrated in Attack on Titan?
Levi?
Erwin.
Oh. Wait, which one? Erwin's the older blonde guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
I
dies.
think he's highly overrated.
Spoiler, he dies.
Spoiler alert for Attack on Titan now. Okay, well, let's talk about... Okay, we talked about the plot in depth. Let's get into what we actually thought about the queer representation that it gave. Which was minimum.
Yeah.
It was there. It was sort of like a ghost in the room. You could feel the chill of it, but you couldn't actually touch it. It wasn't corporeal.
Yeah.
It wasn't never confirmed.
A lot like the feelings of Christmas. You can feel it in the air, can't see it.
Though we did do a review of Yuri on Ice, which was similar in terms of the fact that it was never like.
However, the great thing of Yuri on Ice is that there were way more moments between Victor and Yuri where you could see the character development between the two of them. So I think if this show had been longer, it probably would have went the way of Yuri on Ice in terms of, oh, okay, like they're not saying it, but like there's just so much here to really work with. It's good.
Even if they hadn't had like a rings scene like Yuri on Ice did.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it would have been much more believable, much more on the hook. Do we feel like it's good queer representation? Like, is it positive?
Okay. What exactly is considered negative queer representation? That's what we should really hammer out here.
That's
because
my conflict as well.
Yeah.
If I watch this show, I am not going to say to myself, this is queer media. I'm not. Because I would love to. If I had seen more queer, I would say, but I didn't see enough queer to say to myself, this is queer media. I would say this is fantasy media, this is vampire media, this is trauma media.
It's trauma.
There is a queer subplot to it. If they had done a little bit more in confirming that Momo and Fine were actually a thing and not just Fine being infatuated with her previous lover, which is more confirmed, then I'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, there's more here for that. This is definitely queer media. It's about a tragic love story between these two women that takes place in the backdrop of a post-apocalyptic vampire world. But it's more like a tragic friend relationship. It's a tragic roommate relationship because
they were roommates.
It's a cross-country Thelma and Louise sort of moment. So I would say bad queer media or queer media that is negative to queer people is one that harms us, harms our image, promotes like blatant lies about, like if there was a movie that was like gay men grooming children and the emphasis was that gay people groom children, not just an evil gay person does it, but gay people period groom children, then that is negative. That's bad, obviously. This, however, I don't even see it as queer media. I didn't see anyone getting their pussy ate.
Well, all of us, some of us would have loved to have seen that. But
I would have loved to see it.
I would have loved to have seen it.
I would have been into it.
I saw Ali Wong get her pussy ate.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Ali Wong got her pussy ate in that show Beef.
Oh.
Good for her, right?
Woman?
No, it was by a man.
Damn it.
Although there was one queer couple in that show, though, so.
Interesting.
Um,
I don't think it was detrimental. Like
No.
but
No.
I just if I were to consider it queer media, I wouldn't consider it good in terms of beneficial or worthwhile to watch.
Yeah.
Because of how flat it falls with their relationship.
Yes. I don't think this is harming lesbians or queer women or whatever. I just don't think they're going to watch this and go, this was a good representation of relationships that I've been in. Don't think that's happening. Well, I don't mean the whole death and vampire part. I mean like the actual like dynamic between the two of them. Also for the most part their dynamic is like very I don't know, inconsistent. Like at the beginning, Fine is very focused on getting Momo away and bringing her with her.
Yes.
And then after a while, she's like, "No, don't be around me because I'm
home.
Yeah, because I'm a hungry demon that'll eat your soul." And then at first, Momo's like, and then Momo goes hot and cold with like what she's doing because she's discovering herself and learning more about the world. And I'm just like, oh, there's so much happening, but not enough time to really explore it because we only have 5 episodes to do it.
Yeah. Matt, did you say? I don't know if you said what you thought about positive or negative contributions to queer media.
I think I would agree with what you two said in terms of like, it's definitely not negative. I would say it's a positive contribution. Like it's a nice story that wasn't fleshed out a lot and didn't end perhaps the way we wanted it to. But yeah, I would still say it's a positive contribution to queer media if you can consider it that. I think I would consider it to be queer media. I know Pat said he didn't, but I think it was.
Yeah, I think I was also trying to reflect too, like on baby gays and everything, and
baby gays.
Yeah, and like how you look at media and interpret things, and get, I think, be more willing to kind of look at the coding of things. So I was trying to gauge whether or not I considered it queer media by thinking on how I would have interpreted it if I were much younger, kind of discovering. Like sexuality and that thing. I think I would also consider it queer, because it feels to me too coded.
I feel like when they started going into Fine's like past lover, and how she saw Momo as like very similar to her past lover, that's what like sealed it for me. It's like, well, yeah, then this is like a love story, obviously.
Yeah.
I wish there was more to.
Yes.
I wanted it to be more fleshed out. I wish they would go into some of those montages and like just give us a crumb of something extra.
Like that hot tub scene, you could have just thrown in her eating her fucking out, going to fucking town. But we didn't get that.
Her in the bathroom, her in the bathtub in one of the earlier episodes. Momo's having this dream or something. She wakes up in the bathtub naked.
And
Fine's like,
I put you in
here. You threw up while you were sleepwalking. You looked like you were ill, so I had to carry you up here and put you in the bath. I was like, you took this child who was wandering around your home, vomiting everywhere, stripped them down naked, and just put them in the tub, and then they started to basically drown.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that whole scene where they were in the hotel room, and Fine starts like kind of losing her shit.
Yeah.
I just wanted them to fucking start making out and fucking going at it. I just wanted
when Fine was going to kill her?
When she was struggling, I just feel like a kiss could have made it more interesting.
Jackie likes the struggle.
Fixed it.
Jackie likes the struggle.
I like the struggle. I think it could have made it more interesting, and it was right there on a silver platter, and we didn't get it.
I mean, listen, I thought that because vampires when they bite, they transmit being a vampire. They show that early on the show, but like, fucking Momo got bit by Fine like 3 times during that final battle with the uncle. She didn't turn into a vampire. What's that about?
Oh, you're right.
Like, Fine picked up Momo, went like this, grabbed her, bit her leg, bit her abdomen, bit her other leg. I was like, is she gonna turn? She didn't turn. I was like, that would have been interesting. She turns, they're both lady vampires, they run away, sort of like Castlevania.
Yeah, it would have been perfect.
Could have been nice. Could have been nice.
I would have been more okay with that. Some of the criticisms I saw of this was like, it's tired tropes. It's the same plot. It's not inventive. However, as we've talked about before on the show, I am much more open to these common tropes and these plot lines and stories when it's different characters. When we do have like the, lesbian vampire couple who is living these stereotypes. I think it is refreshing. And if that had been their story, if they ran off into the Twilight, I guess, because sun hurts them, that would have been fine.
Why couldn't they find eating together?
I know, just fucking let them.
Well, I mean, I think the whole point of the show was that no place like that actually existed, and that the paradise.
But then they did. Yeah.
But okay, hold on. There's no physical location that exists like that. The only paradise you find is with the people that you surround yourself with. So they were only happiest when with. I understand that, but the show wanted to be a tragedy, so this is what you get. This is what you get. I'm sorry. I wish they could have, gallivanted off into the sunset and either burned to a crisp together or found a place to live together. But that's not what the show wanted to be.
Well, the show's a cunt.
Well, I think we know what Jackie's gonna do at the end of this, where we see if it passes the queer
Finger
review.
themselves? Oh.
What? Why? Also,
I don't know.
To go on this question list that we have here. Who was your favorite character? Did you guys have favorite characters?
No.
Oh.
I think Fine was. Fine was my favorite.
Oh.
Yeah. The poor fucking woman just couldn't catch a fucking
couldn't
break.
catch a break. She
could not breathe.
I kind of liked the brother. He was fun.
Oh,
the brother.
The uncle?
Oh, the uncle?
Was it the uncle? No, the brother.
Samurai
Fine's brother, or Fine's.
Oh, honey. Oh, they weren't siblings.
Oh, they weren't siblings. Whoever he was.
Okay.
The other
Apollo?
vampire guy.
What's his name?
Allegra.
Allegra
D. They were all Did you guys know they were all music names? Fine. Allegra.
Oh, yeah. Literally, Fine means end.
I get it.
It does. I know.
So, if anyone thought Fine was gonna survive, she fucking wasn't. Look at her name. What the fuck's Momo? Name.
Peach? I think Momo's Peach.
What does that have to do with anything? Peach?
Bite me? Juicy?
Is it like calling by your name when they're coming on the peach?
Now,
wait, what?
We still haven't reviewed that one yet. That'll be
I haven't seen that. Is that a fun spoiler?
It is a fun spoiler. In the book, he actually eats it though.
Yeah.
Why? In the movie, he just pantomimes eating it, but in the book, he absolutely does eat it.
Ew.
Wait, so
was it American Pie when he
fucks the pie?
Yeah, he fucks the pie.
That's very interesting.
Well, what other names were
I don't know.
Music. It's just so 2, 3.
There's so few characters.
Yeah.
That's the top ones I can.
Well, she's dead, so.
She's dead. Well, so who's your favorite? Did you say, Pat? No, you.
I don't have one.
Yep, because they're. Yep.
Because okay. Well, we can get into our final thoughts when we're done with these other questions.
Well, we're almost there. I feel like we've mostly talked about many of these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we said, was the overall message of the story good or bad? I don't know if we said that. But what do we feel the message of the story was?
Momo becoming her own person and deciding what she wants to do with her life and not being predestined to someone else's ideas of what she should be. Sure. I like that. I do. That's probably the overall message. You can find sort of your own. You can try to find your own paradise if you look hard enough and you work for it.
You better work, bitch.
Even in a world full of danger and evil, you can find some sort of happiness. Sure, why not?
Sure. Absolutely.
I would love to see how she built this paradise afterwards, though. This show needed to be longer. It really did.
It needed to be longer. It needed to have different writing.
All right.
But I would agree with that about messaging.
Yeah. So should we figure out if this passes the queer review or not?
Yeah. All right, Jackie, you brought this to our attention, so you should start.
Oh, I should start. Okay.
Oh, do you want to end with you? Do you want to Fine with you?
I'll
be Fine.
Dead.
Yep.
All right, Matt, do you want to start then?
All right, I'll start.
Christ.
Does it pass the queer review? I'm going to say no.
Okay, I'm also gonna say no because there's not enough here for me to really see this as a queer-centric story. Sorry.
Really? I thought you were going to say yes. Okay.
No, like when I say it doesn't pass the queer review, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean that it hurts queer people. It's just for me, like, is there enough here to validate it and exist as a queer story? No, I don't think there is. Sorry.
I'm going to say yeah. No, it doesn't for me.
Oh.
Such a hard no.
I would have been like that. That was a plot twist.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I thought you didn't like this at all.
You hated this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a solid, hard, cold bite from a hot vampire. No, wait, that'd be good. It's just a no. It's just a no.
No's all around. 3 no's.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this does not mean that this is inherently bad work. It doesn't mean it's an awful show. You should boycott it. It doesn't mean it hurts lesbians.
Oh, yeah, it's not a terrible show. I would say that I had a good time watching it. I just think there were many areas it could have been improved in.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And serve maybe some soft vampire porn if you're into that.
Jackie just wanted this to be a lesbian porn, basically.
I really did.
Okay, so if you guys want to watch something real fun, go on Netflix.
Oh, here we go.
Go find Beef.
What are we gonna watch?
It's a 10-episode, around half-hour episode show produced by A24, who I love, starring Ali Wong and Steven Yeun. It's an Asian-centric cast. People of color, love to support. There's one queer couple in there, which is very the circumstances around them is very suspect, so it's fun. And yeah, I loved it to pieces. It doesn't pass the queer review because it's not a queer show, but I think it's just you've got Ali Wong grabbing a gun, putting it next to her pussy, and trying to fire it. No bullets. It's just clicking.
I thought you said in.
No, on the pussy.
Interesting. Okay.
And then she later
rip it with like.
With what? With what?
With the labia, you know, like.
Yeah, so like we were talking about before with male drivers, when the dick comes out, so you can have
on our other podcast. What did the
gays think? So you can have your cigarette in one hand and your gun in the other. The dick steering. The clit here is doing that.
Yes, you have cigarettes in both of your hands, and your clit is holding the gun.
Yeah.
So she puts the gun by her pussy, she fires it, she's having a moment, and then later you find out it's because she finds sex with her husband so vanilla, she needs the thrill of something else to get her going.
I mean, who hasn't been there?
I see.
Matt goes to the guns in his house, he grabs one and just starts massaging his body with them.
What are you doing, babe? Nothing, just getting ready for later.
Nothing.
Just warming up.
So I think you should watch that. It was fantastically done. I hope they don't do a second season. It is a perfect show by itself.
Well, I can't say the same about Vampire in the Garden. I wish there had been a second season. But like I said, or like Pat said, I think it is worth watching, especially if you want to get fired up about disservice to vampire lesbians.
Or give it like 5 more episodes in season 1. Like just give it more time to air out. I don't know.
Yeah, open up the window.
I wanted them to open up.
Please.
I just wanted one thing, and they did not give me that.
All right. Well, should we sign out?
Yeah, we can sign out. I'm not gonna watch this show ever again, Patrick.
Should I go next? Okay.
Yeah,
Jesus!
I am a vampire eating a peach full of cum. Matt.
I'm Fine. I'm done. I'm done.
Christ.
This has been Under Queer Review. Goodbye.
Tune in next time.
Wait, we're not gonna plug anything?
Oh, wait.
Oh, I thought we usually do that before we do that. Oh.
Did we do that at all?
No.
Okay, so we are...
We did, besides when we talked about dick steering.
We are the Underqueer Review podcast. You can find us at all podcasting platforms. We are a monthly podcast. This is a related podcast to the What Did the Gays Think podcast, which you can find every other week on any podcasting platform you can find Underqueer Review on. We have a... They're just... For those of you who are not watching, they're just pantomiming smoking two cigarettes because both their hands are free because their vaginas are holding their guns.
Or dicks.
Or dicks. You can find us also on Twitter at Pride Empire. We have a Discord, Pride Empire. We're on Twitch at What Did the Gamers Think, and also at Jackie_the_bananas. What Did the Gamers Think is on Tuesdays usually, and then Jackie the Bananas is on Thursdays usually. And I think that's it.
That's it.
Do we want to tease
next time?
Do you want to tease what we're gonna do next?
Yeah, I teased it when I talked about eating a cum peach.
Oh, okay. That's all
yeah,
we're
I
gonna.
guess you did. I guess you
all
did.
we're gonna say. Okay.
And we have to rewatch it because I forget what happened in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, goodbye.
Goodbye.